Hey there, Sharon Horne-Ellstrom here, but you can call me Pajama Grandma. In case you haven't met yet, go ahead and put hashtag pajama in the comments below so you know it's the first time you're being exposed to the Pajama Grandma. Today I want to talk a little bit about divorce and the impact that it had on my life in terms of causing a directional change and directional deviation from what path I had been going on in my life. I told you a little bit about my health challenges, my sudden cardiac arrest, and that I had to make massive lifestyle changes if I was going to continue to exist as a human being on this planet and be here talking to you today. So obviously I made drastic, massive lifestyle changes. And one of those changes that actually impacted many areas of my life, the areas of health, wealth, and relationships, all three of them, was to get a divorce. Turns out that, and I got divorced for a lot of reasons, but one of the primary reasons was my ex-husband had a girlfriend. And I don't know about you, but that is a absolutely unacceptable no-brainer for me. That's not an option. When I made my commitment to my relationship, I made my commitment to my relationship, and that would never ever involve unfaithfulness or yeah, I guess that's just it. That's it. That is one of my core beliefs, and that was a showstopper for me. So it made it difficult but easy to make that decision. So I made the decision that of course I was going to get divorced, and it was like a 6-year process. It didn't go quickly for me. A lot of it was because we had a lot of assets tied together, which impacted our wealth and our ability to make a livelihood. We had a bunch of businesses together, a bunch of properties together, and things that needed to be divided up and divested as part of the separation and the, dissolution of our relationship. And I talk about it now, and actually I think we went through it with a lot of rational behavior, not a ton of emotion, because I went through so much emotion and so much drama with my health challenge. I didn't need, and I actually needed to be more clinical and more rational and more reasonable about the dissolution of the relationship in order to maintain my health. So maybe that happened for a reason, so that I would approach the whole situation with a lot more maturity than I might have otherwise. But as part of that, I needed to find a new way to make a living because we were separating out the assets. I didn't want to participate from a health standpoint in a lot of the businesses that we had been doing together because they were not good for my core beliefs, my values, and for my psyche. And all of those things I discovered were very important. So I started to look for alternatives. I wanted to find a way to make a living and take care of my kids. My kids were still living with me and young, and I needed to have a way to make a living. I needed an income. And I didn't want to continue down the path that I had been with a lot of the things that I'd been doing with my ex. So I needed to look for and explore other options. And I'd always been really interested in and attracted to the internet and online aspects of doing things and doing things online. And so I started to explore that and look into it. And I got myself in this learning loop where I was following and studying, and I was all over the place. I was super scattered because I didn't have a direction. I didn't know exactly what I wanted to do or where I wanted to go with it. But I stumbled upon, via my friend Jim Edwards, who's the only person that I'd really followed and done things with online in any sort of a consistent manner over the years. And he led me to an organization called ClickFunnels. And I decided that I would jump in with both feet and become a ClickFunnels certified partner. So I learned all about ClickFunnels, which for me at my age was pretty challenging and pretty difficult, because whereas my kids are growing up with this technology and they just inherently understand it, I did not have those synapses formed in my brain where I just automatically understand intuitively how to do so many things on the internet and cell phones and all the new technology. But I learned it, and I learned it rather quickly and jumped in and became a certified partner. And I started doing things for people online and doing things for my own businesses and for myself online. And at some point I realized that I was in this learning loop of insanity and that I had to get off that hamster wheel of just running and running and running and not really getting the traction and getting things done that I wanted to get done and that I wanted to achieve, because I really wanted to get and duplicate my offline success online. I wanted to make my businesses online as successful as my offline businesses had been. And I wasn't getting there. So I decided I needed a new objective and a new plan. And I needed to start doing more of the structure and the strategy that I was teaching other people to do. So I began actually listening to my own advice, yay, and realizing that I knew what to do. I always know what to do. I just was finding ways to make excuses and block myself from actually doing it. So one of the things that I decided I was going to do actually really recently was narrow my focus from helping people to grow and supersize their business, which is really, it's really different for each one of my clients and each of the people that I consult with, because how you supersize your business is defined by you. How you create anything on the planet is defined by you. But I decided that I would do a women's summit, not from a Me Too perspective, although we've all been through that. Trust me, if you've been a woman in business, and probably a lot of men as well, for any amount of time, you have encountered inappropriate behavior in some way, shape, or form. But from you guys, women are awesome. We have so much to offer. We see the world differently. And because of that, that's often our superpower, our ability to contribute to the world in a way that only we uniquely can. And the world needs more of that. Our world needs healing. Our world needs a whole lot of things that the incredible women on this planet can help to give it. So I decided I was going to do this women's summit, and I'm putting that together, and I'm really excited about that. And so over the next series of videos, I'm going to talk to you about exactly why I selected women business owners as my target audience, and the reason that that's important to me, and how I'm going about creating this women's summit. That's it. That's just a little bit about my background and how divorce impacts us, and divorce impacts us depending on the relationships that you've had in your life. And I came from a strong marital family relationship, and being divorced, just the fact that I got divorced led me through this whole journey and sense of failure as a partner, failure as a woman, failure in relationships. And I needed to overcome and get through all that. And that's like anything in life. We experience so many things that we don't think are going to impact us, and they impact us on every level of our being. And it's just a matter of working through and dealing with those and finding out how can we turn that around to make that something that we can use to propel us toward what it is that we want. And I've used it to propel me toward my desire to create online businesses, and now this Women's Summit. So what challenges have you had in your life that you can use to propel you forward? That's it. I'll chat with you tomorrow. Pajama Grandma out. Bye.